What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 16. We're starting off covering a new show. We have special guests in the house. We're super excited to get going. I'm Carrie Lane. Thank you so much for being here. Join us in the live chat, and we'll interact with you there. And if you're watching it later, no worries. Comment down below on the stuff we talk about. So we'll go down the line. I already said hello, and so we'll go this way. Hello, Katie.
I'm Katie Cullen. Hi, all my buddies.
What up?
And then our special guest over this way. We got Imari in the house.
What's up, folks? My name is Imari Williams in the house.
Yes. Well, digital house. Yeah.
Digital house.
We're all in a house
Yeah.
somewhere.
In the
Yes.
in the box. In the box.
Yeah. In the. That's where the edges. Yes. Yes. Well, thank you
Okay,
so
but
much
the
for
lighting,
joining
though.
us. Yes.
Yes.
This
that
is my
booth
Tron
box.
setting. I love the Tron. It's my Tron setting, dude. That's why I can feel like I'm in another dimension when I record. It's very
Well, it's nice
important.
to know you're on the side of the users.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, always, please.
Yes. We got John in the chat saying hello. Hello.
What's up, John? How are you, sir?
Yes. And then we also got Tengen too. Yes. Glad to have you here too.
Hello, Tengen. Welcome to the show.
Nice. Yeah. We get voices too, because we have
Yes.
voiceover artists in the house. And so if you have watched the sub of Demon Slayer already, the newer news is
I
up
have.
to episode 2 of the dub are available on Funimation. So go check those out. And that's one of the other big reasons we invited Imari to be with us tonight, because you play a certain drug daddy. So tell
Oh,
us about
man.
that and what's it like being part of Demon Slayer. And you're continuing that zaddy train. What's up with that?
I don't know. You know what? It's the zaddy. It's so funny because that's what I've always wanted to be. As I get older, I want to be a zaddy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to. I'm Peter Pan. I feel like I'm still 27. I don't act my age, and I really don't consider myself that. So I'm always like if I'm gonna age, I'm gonna be a zaddy. So these characters, I would say my career has been molded through the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like my first campaign was from Acura, and that was just kind of like gifted to me from the universe. I mean, I worked my ass off for it, but the opportunity was awesome. And like my first video game was with Liam O'Brien for Asura's Wrath, and so from there I just kind of kept rising, better projects and stuff. And so I don't know, the way the voice works, especially for animation, is that you have your lead character, and I can do like a little kid character if I want, if I want to get there, I can get there. But most of the time, where I really love is just the lower registered cats, and I love being a bad guy if I can get a chance to. I love being a mentory kind of guy, because that's kind of how I am actually in real life. My good friend Gabe Kunda, who's just tearing it up right now. I'm just so extremely proud of him. But we go back and forth. He calls me his big brother. He's my little brother. And we kind of we go off of I'm kind of I like to be that kind of mentor to him. But he doesn't need me. I mean, he doesn't need me for shit. But if he does need me, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I need him. I'm like, hey, we're all kind of just kind of learning from each other. So with these roles, I like being the kind of teacher. It's fun. And yeah, they just keep on coming. Like I get the lower registered Big Daddy. I play the mob boss in what was it? Mob Boss. I think it's Mob Boss C and in One Punch Man. And then I played Center Senpai, which was this Center Senpai. Like when I transformed to the second stage of that. So I do other stuff besides the zaddy, but the zaddies do stand out because why? Because they're sexy as hell. That's why. The first scene I saw of Berkeley, he was coming out that bath, and I was like, oh, girls are gonna they're gonna love this, dude. I was like, when he stands up, he's like, you want to throw down, and it's all lower registered, all steaming from the hot bath. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like who doesn't get a little zing from that? I mean, I got
steaming in more ways than one.
Yeah, they're steaming. So
Yes.
but Berkeley was my ultimate zaddy. I love him to death. That's my boy.
Well, the other one from a different kind of steaming, but a bit more on fire. So
Yeah.
for Demon Slayer, our fire daddy on it, because we met
Shinjiro.
our best boy here, Fire, but now his father. What was it like playing that character and joining the Demon Slayer franchise?
So when I first saw Demon Slayer, I had no idea who cast it. I had no idea who did the voice directing or who hired the actors. I had no what studio was involved. I thought maybe it was Funimation, and then I found out that Bang Zoom did it. And I just, mommy, who's like the head, one of the heads is the head there. She was like, I was like, mommy, I love Demon Slayer. I finished the last episode. And I immediately, like that night, I was like, oh, please, mommy, let me audition. I'll audition. I'll do whatever I got to. I'll burp on it. I'll do whatever I can. I love that series so much. I just wanted to be, part of it. And I knew after the end of the last season, there was going to be a season 2. I mean, how could there not? I mean, it was just like the best thing I ever saw. And it's like, I've had that feeling, that same feeling I had with like Naruto when I first saw Naruto, and that's how I kind of grade my series I really like. It's how I feel off of like, how I felt off of Bleach. It's something special. Naruto, Samurai Champloo, the ones that really, Ninja Scroll, all the ones that kind of like, ooh, like, in my heart. This show did it. And I was like, I gotta be a part of it. And I found out that Bang Zoom did it. So I kind of campaigned for it. And I didn't hear anything, I was like, whatever. And then all of a sudden I got a chance to do it, to audition, and they gave it to me. And I was like, and it was Shinjiro, and I immediately, because I didn't know the arc before, like how after the main thing would happen, but I knew that he was in Demon Train, and I knew that he was Rengoku's father. So I was like, okay, well, let me like do my studies, and let me follow up on him from the manga. And yeah, dude, I was like, oh, I'm all about it, because I figured out that he's gonna be involved a little bit.
I was like, ooh, I was like, no spoilers.
We're not doing.
If people follow the manga, look like
it makes sense. He's gonna come back.
You never know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he could this could just be my only time that I'm in the show. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And neither does Steve. Like, who directs it? He doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, I don't know. I mean, he could be come back. He could not. You never know. So like, but I kind of was able to see what the character was like through the manga, and so so I was on the movie, and I had like kind of quick line. Very like slurred, back to the audience. No one really saw his face. And then when I started watching the subs, I saw that he was involved, and I started, I was like, oh shit. And I was because you never know. Nothing's ever guaranteed. No job is ever guaranteed. But I knew they're gonna have a dub with it, and I knew that I did the last one, so I was hoping that they would, like the job I did and invite me back. And lo and behold, I came back. So I the first scene was with him crying. The first thing with him was with him getting extremely violent, and drunk because he's upset about his son. And then, he cries in that episode. So I knew that ahead of me working it. So I studied that scene before I had a chance to even record the main dub.
Nice. Well, what is that like then, where you get to watch the sub first as a voice actor, that you get a chance to see it before you get to record it? And
it's great.
The whole arc,
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, when you do, any voiceover artist will tell you, especially, who heavily does animation, you never really know what you're, if you're lucky, you get a chance to see what the character looks like before you do it. It really helps you kind of like, let your imagination play. But sometimes you have to look on the paper, and all you have is just a description of what it is until you book it. And then you can see it possibly there when you start recording, but you've already done your preparation. You've already like created the character, so it doesn't really matter what the character looks like, because you're not gonna like change it. Then unless the director's like, "Yeah, can you go lower, higher?" Well, then yeah, you're gonna do whatever the hell they want you to do. But for the most part, you already know what you're gonna do. So when you see the character, it's great because you're able to like fully encompass the entire character in your head. At least with me. So me watching him do his thing, I knew exactly how I wanted to slur him. I knew exactly how I wanted to. I wanted his anger to be. I knew he was. I knew he loves his son. Obviously, there's a reason why he's drinking. There's a reason why he is the way he is. There's a reason why he gave up on himself, and his son knows it. Both his sons know it, which is why they tolerate him. And Rangoku was still proud of him, even as he was dying. So it's just, he said, take care of yourself, and because he knows exactly what he's going through. So it was fun. It was great. It was definitely a blessing for me to be able to study him before I got a chance to record it, because I really want to do him justice for the fans out there. Because I know, I know a lot of people, there's the whole thing about, oh, the subs are this, the dubs are this, but you know what? when I do a dub, I want to bring the quality of the subs to life. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't do dubs to say like, I'm a dubber and I want to overdub all that work. You have to respect what's there, and then you add to that, and you don't try to fight that. You don't try to be better than that. You try to
Build on it.
Compliment it. Exactly. Yeah. So I hope I did him justice.
Yeah. Well, we got Teng in the chat saying very sad seeing Shinjiro cope like that after his son's death.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have a question. John Knight asked, I'm going to combine these two. One, how are you doing during pandemic? And how are you enjoying recording from home?
Oh man. Have
you gone back to the studio?
Oh yeah. I mean, what? I'm working on some stuff. Okay, what I can say is that I've been doing some announcements for Fortnite. So I've been in the studio for over at Side LA. And so I've been recording from that studio. Everything, all the protocols are followed. I see my friends. I have my vaccinations, and I respect whatever laws are out there, because everything's so vague. Everything's so different, depending where you go. So you just, I feel personally like I feel like I can handle if anything comes my way, but I still am respectful for those who are fearful of of their health, that they have a loved one who needs to be cautious. You still have to respect those around you. But I've been going out, seeing friends, and seeing reconnecting with family, and seeing some voiceover peers, and just really loving, kind of getting back into people's faces, so to speak. Not too close, but yeah. not like this, no, not like that. This is more like
normal
like
conversation.
Yeah.
And no headbutting like Tanjiro to you, right?
No,
hell of a greeting.
No dog sniffing faces, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
We keep it nice and distant.
No, that's cool.
And it's
being able
to be
to
out and about and seeing people again.
It is, but I've been in Margarita Mix, LA Studios. I've been back inside LA. I've been in Lime Studios in Santa Monica. I mean, and they're slowly, everyone's kind of slowly creeps in. They kind of like smell the environment. Is it cool? Great. Take baby steps. The one thing I love about the industry is that people are being cautious, and they're like, okay, let's we want to all get back into each other's grace, good company. I mean, we're social people. We're made to be around people. So, I mean, so recording, to answer the other question too, recording Zoom from home, it's been liberating, because I'm here. I have more time, but then I also miss the process of going into like Bang Zoom, or seeing, the engineers I see, and getting that kinetic energy that you get from a person, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I miss that. There is this one big franchise that I that's all I would say. It's something so tasty, and when I'm able to say something, I'm gonna like just vomit it all over Twitter, so you guys will know. But like, it's extremely tasty, and I'm so psyched for it. But I went into the studio for that too. So
congratulations on your tasty NDA.
Tasty NDA, man.
Tasty NDA.
We should make a shirt that says Tasty NDA.
I was just about to say that's the
dope.
name of my Larkin Ciel cover band.
Oh God, that's a great name for a group. Tasty NDA.
Tasty NDA. What's on the album? Can't tell you.
Can't tell you.
Wow.
It's all like black barred out. You know what I'm saying? It's all
exactly. The track listing is a mystery.
Yeah, you'll know.
All of the track titles are the working titles that movies have used.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's great, dude.
That'd be funny.
Well, we pitched something that's either very fabulous or very ridiculous, and it could
or both.
Venn diagram overlap. Overlap.
And it just got stolen too. Someone's gonna steal that shit. You better be very, very fast with that, because it's a genius idea.
Right.
I still have my pitch for the perfect Purge movie that I'm keeping in my back pocket. So
we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Was there anything about your Demon Slayer recording experience or character or seeing it come to life that you would like to share?
It was just like, it's just really getting into the emotion of it. I really believe in the franchise. I really love the franchise. Like me being on It's like me being on My Hero Academia. That's another franchise I would love to crack. I would love to just roll around, say my daughter would just like, she would just like be so incredibly like, just happy. But she's also happy I'm on Demon Slayer too. So it's like I kind of won already, you know what I'm saying? She's like, oh, she showed her friend the scene where I cry over Rengoku, and that was it. And she was like, see, look what my papa did that. So that was awesome. But I would say
Aw.
like the cool thing about this is just connecting with the character, and being able to use that to push the narrative of the story forward with the dubs, because we really want to make sure that the dubs do the series justice, and bring the characters back to life for those who've seen the subs and want to see us do our magic. So it was a great honor, and also like just trying to like focus on what he's feeling, and he's a former warrior. He he had a fall from grace, obviously. He's mourning his son. He strikes his little son. I mean, my God, he just strikes him in the face. So obviously, and the son just kind of takes it like, so obviously, he's like, he's been like not the best father. And so anyway, as you guys, whoever's seen the sub, what happens about, beyond this, but we'll see what happens as he reconciles with that, and all that stuff. So it was good.
Would you ever cosplay any of your characters?
Oh, hell yeah.
Who then? Who?
Yeah.
Dude,
Who would you cosplay first?
Fudge, dude. Who would I? Oh my God. There's I was thinking about maybe LASIK David. That would be sick. From LASIK David from Shield. Hold on. There's another. I'm looking through like I wouldn't mind being Skip on Carolyn Sunday. Who's like this? He's like this, the bass player who sings with like, I love that.
Tuesday. Carolyn Tuesday.
Carolyn Tuesday. Mm-hmm. What'd I say?
I heard
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Did I
it's
say
only a couple
Sunday?
days off. It's fine. Nobody knows what time is during the pandemic anymore. It's fine.
Which, if you
It's-
have not watched that anime, go watch Carolyn Tuesday. It is amazing and
it's
feel
brilliant.
good, and the soundtrack is so good too.
Oh my God! Like Thundercat did the track that I do on Carolyn Tuesday. When I was watching it, I was like, holy shit! Because I was like watching, and I was like, okay, so this is what my character's gonna be playing. Because when I recorded for it, they're like, okay, you have the song, but you don't worry about the song. The song's already done. And so when I looked at it, I was like, I was watching a show, and all of a sudden it comes on, and I was like, holy shit, that sounds so much like Thundercat. And then I researched, and it was Thundercat, man. Thundercat sang my song. Thundercat's one of my favorite artists.
Nice.
If you guys don't know Thundercat, he is brilliant. He's a jazz, there's a bass playing jazz, hip hop fusionist, experimental, loves anime lover, cat lover. He's like everything I love rolled up into one. You know what I'm saying? The brother is just spicy. And so for him singing that was like, and then not to top it off, before the pandemic hit, I went to go see a show right before the pandemic hit.
Nice.
And he sang the song live that he sang
Oh
on
my
Carolyn
God.
Tuesday, dude. So I was
You're
like, oh.
Did you get to talk to him?
Right?
Oh,
You're
no,
like,
dude, no.
oh,
No. Like, if the universe so deems it fit, I will then go ahead and like we'll meet. I never force any kind of like, I let people be chill. I just like, that's the LA way. I've been an LA boy, and I know like, it's sort of like, if you're meant to meet someone, you are. Not to mention, not to say I've not freaked out over meeting someone. I met Andre Brower from 911 from Fox Show. Oh my God, 911, right?
There's a lot of it. Yeah. There's 911 and there's 911 Lone Star.
No, okay. So I met Andre Brower, and he has just great voice and just a phenomenal like talent. And he was in my agency before it shut down at WME. I am now with Atlas. Atlas is not shut down. Atlas is very much thriving. So, but it was at WME. And I was like, I didn't even introduce myself. I said, hi, Andre Brower. Hi, nice to meet you. I just shook his hand. He was like, nice to meet you too. And then I just realized, like, I was like, holy shit! I just totally freaked out in front of Andre Brower, dude. That was not an LA thing to do, but I did.
Oh, that's
Everyone
adorable.
gets one. Everyone gets one. I've done it. I'm sure Carrie's done it. Though I don't. If you have, I don't know the story. But like, everyone gets one.
You know what?
I had a funny one where I missed. Oh, well, actually, wait. On that note, speaking of dressing up, John Knight says you should cosplay Broccoli. I feel you could rock that one.
I think I could rock broccoli too. And I would not
Yeah.
do it, and I would not put a wig on me or anything. I would just wear the robe, and I would just
You could
basically like
spray your hair,
I
like
could spray.
spray it.
I would dust
Yeah,
it white. I
wash
would
it
do
out.
all white. 'Cause
Yeah.
that would look
There you go.
freaky.
Yeah.
No,
But
it's like a bluish white. I think you could do
Yeah.
it.
Well, and they
But, like,
make
I-
hair chalk that's meant to color
Yeah.
hair, so that might work too.
Wash right
I
out.
want that. I want the time sword, man. I want my time sword. Is what I really want. I want to have that on my back, like in a sheath, just
Mhm.
shining, just waiting to be taken out.
I know
Battle
a
Gabriel's
blacksmith.
punk ass all over again.
There you
I know a blacksmith.
Do you really?
You're all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Oh, that would be the ultimate piece in the house, man. I'd be like, oh, there's my time sword, just shining.
Dude,
Yeah.
You know,
I'll message you.
I am gonna get a tattoo on my forearm, and it's gonna be dedicated to broccoli. So
Nice.
I'm gonna be TikToking that.
Yeah.
All right.
With that. So
Nice. Well, that's exciting. I love it. Yeah. To show the love for your character. All right. Anything else you would like to share about that you're working on for people to be on the lookout for, and where can they find you online?
you can find me on TikTok, Imari _Atari _Ferrari.
Great.
And then I'm on Mari Speaks on Twitter. Mari Speaks, there's a little right there. You with you? There it is, right there. There it is. That's my Twitter handle. And then I have, what do I have going on? So okay, no, I'm looking right here. So I just
Girl,
popped
what
up.
can I say?
Yeah, what can I say? I'm on.
What's not under a tasty NDA?
Yeah, what's not under the tasty NDA? I can say that I'm on Halo right now, which is fantastic.
Hey.
I mean, my God, to be finally part of the franchise. I play Hyperius, which is just a nasty, nasty, nasty brute. And then Spartan Sorrel, who you meet in the campaign. He's one of the dead Halo. He's one of the dead chiefs, and one of the dead Spartans. And you're kind of like figuring out what the mystery is and how he died, and you hear about this whole backstory. So I got to voice that whole entire thing, which was, that was like the icing on the cake. So that was fabulous.
Nice.
That's about.
Got to be a Spartan and a Covenant. Amazing.
Right, I got to be both.
You get to do both.
Is that not
great?
Is that not like yin and yang in real life? I think it is.
You got to do the mentor and the villain in the same property.
It's like good and evil on the same half and half.
I love it.
But that's going on. But when I have more stuff, that I can talk about, I'll definitely fill you guys in. So,
all righty.
Very cool.
Thank you so much for letting me yap. You know how much I love to do it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, pleasure to have you.
All right.
So thanks, and everybody go follow him that way. There we go. Go follow him over there.
Around the rainbow.
Yeah.
And we'll get crazy.
Yes. And then stick with us. We're going to be talking more anime stuff. So thank you very much, Mari. Take care.
Bye, my ladies.
See ya.
Right, you too.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right, let me.
What a good dude.
Yes. There we go. I'm readjusting my.
Yeah, both
face.
of us just like, and
we're like in background. Yes.
There we go.
Thank you so much for Imari coming out and talking with us. Super fun as always.
Hashtag tasty NDA.
Yeah. And then I like the umai. That was really funny.
That was funny.
I mean, he's already signed off, but Tengen says thank you. And then thank you for sticking around, because now we're going to get into which
I want to know what your freak out story is before we I'll tell mine if you'll tell yours.
Well, mine wasn't one of the first ones. Isn't necessarily a freak out, but a really funny one where I mistook someone. Okay, so the it's one of those, if you all don't know who it is, it doesn't matter, because it's more who they play. So if anybody remembers Clip Critics, well, that was deep cut YouTube. So it was kind of like jib jabby style of animation, and they would find random internet clips and talk about it and stuff. And there was somebody on that, and I just watched it. It was super fun. And I was at a film festival event. I think it was like during a con, and I walked over to the Regal Theater, and there was a guy there who plays the main dude in Office Space. And I was like, wait, are you on Clip Critics? Because it's one of those, they don't look alike when you put side by side, but in your head, I'm like, yeah. He's like, no. And I'm all, oh, okay. And then left. And he was so confused of like, okay. And then later I realized who it was. I was like,
Just this
well,
moment
that
of
was awkward. Yeah, I was like, ooh. I mean, I wasn't mean or like, oh darn, but I was just like, oh, okay, sorry to bother you, and like went on my way.
thank you, bye.
And another adorable one I remember that was really funny was I was in New York City with my dad at a hotel and we're eating breakfast. And I'm like, I did the classic. It's like a movie and it really happens this way. I was like, Dad, don't look, but it's Larry King. And my dad totally whoop and looked. I'm like, no, but it's adorable because it's my dad doing it. And then like Larry King didn't even notice, but it was just really funny of like, I just told you not to, but anyway. So wait, what was your funny one?
I wound up in a movie theater, the row behind Markiplier. It was the Resurrection F premiere at oh my god. My brain says LA Comic Con and that's not right. Anime Expo years ago. And I went to go do coverage for the outlet we were with at the time. And then we all, here's the press area, here's the guest area. It's like, all right, let's get seats, let's get popcorn because I have to get popcorn. And I sit down and I have this moment of, hang on, because I'd seen him like getting concessions and it was like, you're working. Just don't. He sat right in front of me. And I just had this moment of complete, and, introduced myself, asked him to come on the show. I, did not give him my card like a smart person. Instead, went to go figure out his press contact info. But it was definitely a hi sort of introduction because the brain just went, oh no, you're not going to work right now. That's Markiplier. So I met Markiplier and I made a fool of myself.
Yay!
Everyone gets one.
Well, also, this is a good PSA for everybody that when you're at a movie theater where it's a special screening or a film festival, the people involved could be sitting right next to you. So do not be rude. If you don't like the movie or whatever it is, go talk about it later with your friends outside. Because I've definitely had it where I sat down in the theater and then they have them stand up of like, who's involved? And they're everywhere around you.
It's
So
like,
it's like,
oh no.
Don't say anything. And it's okay if you don't like it. That's all right. You're not saying you have to like everything. But do not talk about it there because they will hear you and then that's just rude.
I did that at a screening of Real Steel. Because it was an alumni screening for my college. So it wasn't like a big industry thing, but came in, sat down, we were early, there were only 2 other people there, and Real Steel is basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots with Hugh Jackman. Yeah. It's not the world's best movie, but it's a great popcorn flick. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And so we sat down to watch it. And I looked at my roommate because she was there with me. And I went, either this is going to be great and I'm going to love it, or it's going to be terrible and I'm going to love it. And the guy behind me, like after the movie, leaned forward, so, did you like it? Oh, yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was great. And he's like, yeah, I did the sound design. Like, oh, okay.
You're
like, oh, so you heard that preliminary assessment. And he's like, yeah, glad you loved it. It's like, oh, God, okay.
Yeah.
Living in LA.
Yeah. Well, and anywhere if you're at a film festival too. Yeah. So the other big thing that we are excited to talk about. Well, one, we were excited to have our guest. But let's get into it because a lot of you all hopefully saw our tweet about it. So Ranking of Kings. So just checked out. So we're talking about the first 2 episodes. We know it's already been out. Please, no spoilers. We're taking them 2 at a time. As long as they button, I don't know. It might come up where maybe it works in a set of 3, but like these first 2 were a nice like intro to the show. So Katie, what did you think of Ranking of Kings first 2 episodes?
I'm kind of mad that it made me cry more than once. I was not in an emotional place to do that this weekend, and then it did it to me anyway. I'm just like, fine. It's one of those shows where it's like, this is really good, and I'm really, really pissed off at the world, at its world, and I'd have reasons for that. It's one of those things. Like,
we'll get into that. Well, one real quick. Ranking of Kings, we were watching it over on Funimation. So they have the first, I think it's like 18 episodes or something available right now.
Yeah. I've been watching the dub because it's available.
Dub and sub are available. I'm watching the sub. and a lot of it's in sign language that
Yeah.
well,
I
I
think
don't
they
even
made up
know.
their own
I
sign
think they
language.
did, because I was
Yeah.
trying to be
I
like,
think that's
I know a little tiny bit, but it was just kind of, I think it's so cool. Well, there we go.
But
Going into what I
also-
was thinking.
yeah. But also, this is something that was created and animated in Japan. It's possible because,
It could be their sign
ASL is
language.
American. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily globally
Yes.
standardized. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it could be something where, someone in Japan might recognize it as yes, and we're over here like,
yeah.
Who knows? Or it could
two
be
things
fantasy sign language.
It could be. Well, two things. One, had you not have any friends post about how it was a very emotional show? Because I knew that going in, of so many people that are like, oh my gosh, this show's so good, it made me cry. So I'm kind of like, all right, let's see. And then, yeah, absolutely, the second episode, I was like, this is so good. Why are you making me cry?
First episode was like, all right, we're going to end with a sparring match. And I'm like, great, we're going to start the second episode with a sparring match. No, we're going to start the second episode with a genocide? Like, great! Awesome! Wow!
Yes. And then speaking of that, yep, Tengen agrees. Cried so much during these episodes, especially Kage's backstory. Yes!
That Kage backstory is unfair.
Oh, yeah. Which really, hard to say, but I'd say shitty circumstances do not forgive bad behavior, but it does give context to his character that we barely know. Yeah. And so far, his character isn't a bad character yet. He's just stealing some things to get ahead. And that's, nobody taught him any better because his family was murdered. So
I brought this up in Demon Slayer, but it seems like maybe not a lot of anime, but a lot of what I've been watching recently, the lesson is kindness can prevent bad things. It's like, oh, basic human kindness. This is a world that doesn't seem to be capable of much of that, despite the Miyazaki sort of animation.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was going to say is I think this is one of the first shows I've watched where sign language is such a big part of the show. So clapping for that one. So this is clapping, if anybody knows, for ASL sign language, which makes sense because this is a noise. So yeah. Also, depending on how you do it, it could be spirit fingers, but that's not
say chess hands.
Chess hands. No, it's more like twist of the wrist.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just really cool to have that be such an integral part of the plot. The fact that, and then the other thing is, world building wise, that they had someone learn it, had someone teach it to them, and somebody does it, because there are other stories or real life circumstances where family members don't even try to learn it and they have a family member who's deaf. So it's like, I like that they had that as such a part of the plot and normalizing it. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's what it is. And I do feel it's a nice, convenient point of plot, but I like it that Kage can understand him. He's like, I don't know how, but I can understand you. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. That will probably make things easier for us, the viewer, later.
And that once he realizes that Boji can lip read, he specifically goes out of his way to do the little mouth so Boji can communicate with him.
Which I was like, how do you even read that? Because that's like not even like.
This is a show.
Sure, it's a shadow with eyeballs.
People who are shadow puddles who can have appendages when they choose to have them, and also out of nowhere giants, and also ogres. This is a show that really, like, the fantasy world building here is so natural. You don't really question. Of course there's ogres. Of course there's giants. Of course there's a shadow clan. It's very much, I was thinking of like Dragon Ball Z, where you don't question the president. You don't question the fact that the president is a dog. Like, DBZ just has a lot of furries and it doesn't matter. They're part of the world. That's how this works. So
yeah, I really enjoyed the world building. Yeah, it was super interesting. I will admit the animation at first, I was like,
oh, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. It was so cute. It was almost like, I don't want to say chalkboard, but it reminded me of something that would have been done in a completely different medium.
I was going to say, it makes me think like a children's book. So I like that I'm like, it is simplistic. But I got into it because at first, like, even just the main, our Boji's character design of the mouth being really big, I was like, I don't know. And then his brother with the super long nose and the queen. I'm like, but I am far more leaning. I like the really shoujo. I like it pretty, and I like it really like detailed. And as we just covered Demon Slayer, I like that style's cool too. But I really got into this show, and the quality of the show is just so good.
Well, this hit me as like a little bit Miyazaki, a little more like 70s-ish classic anime character designs as well, with the noses and whatnot. Like, this really is working hard to do. This is more of a classical piece. This is more, I feel like the designs are part of the world building.
And I like that they commit to their style. They're like, we're going to do something different, which, speaking of weird noses, and we were talking about it before, the brother who you referenced as very similar to another kind of character.
Baratheon. Joffrey Baratheon and Cersei Lannister, his mom. And I know that is, again, we've only seen the first 2 episodes, and I know that is a lot to lay on any character, because Joffrey Baratheon is one of the most hated fictional characters out there. Maybe not the most, but a pretty unilateral hate for this kid. And so on the one hand, that's a lot to put on a new character where we've only seen 2 episodes worth of him. On the other hand, the whole my ascension to the throne, talking to the magic mirror, like, it's not completely Joffrey Baratheon, but the vibes are there. So it's very much a, oh boy, this is Prince Joffrey if he were a little smarter.
Well, they do a good job of just these first 2 episodes, and immediately we're like, nah, I don't like him. I don't like his mom. We might get some more character explanation on them, but I feel it's simplistic in a good way of a children's story of like, nope, these are the characters that aren't really that great. Boji's going to be our hero. His dad seems to be good, like a nice guy, maybe a little out of touch, but like he seems to be doing the best he can. And
Dad also has soap opera sickness, so like he's got tuberculosis.
Yeah,
he's got.
But he's a giant too.
Yeah. Sure, we just have giants, and evidently Boji's mom was also a giant, as we saw.
And Boji's like little.
But Cersei isn't a giant, and there's part of me that's like the logistics of that, and then there's part of me like, it's a fantasy. Step back. So, like, it's like, let's not worry about the mechanics. Let's just there is a sun. It happened. What I want to, it's a little detail-y, and maybe this will come up later. And again, be kind, no spoilers in the comments, just be chill. So we have Joffrey, and we have Cersei, and we definitely get, some fun stuff from her. She's very ambitious on her son's behalf. She's very aware that she's the second queen, he's the second son. Well, he's better fitting of the throne, but things happen. And we also have our 2 mentors, because we have Boji being mentored by the best swordsman in the kingdom, and we have Joffrey being mentored by Snake Man, who specializes seemingly in swords, knives, and fucking snakes.
And there's so many of them too. I'm like, where did they come from?
And there's 2 things I kind of want to bring up for this, because I think the show has given us 2 and 2 and expected us to kind of put 4 together. One thing that I want to kind of just keep in the back of your mind and consider how much of Joffrey's personality and bearing and ambitions are his own, and how much are direct influences from his mother and his tutor. Because the other thing I want to bring up, 2 other things I want to bring. I have so many things. One of them is just looking at the character designs between Swordsman and Snake Guy. And very much like Swordsman is designed as a good guy, and Snake Guy is designed as not that. And also, we had the one guardsman having the flashback about, well, I've seen Boji in danger, and he handled himself really well against several dozen snakes. It's like, okay, why were there that many snakes here unsupervised? How did he get in the middle? So it's hard not to look at dude who controls snakes and a younger prince wants to get out of the way in order to be in line for king himself. It's hard not to read malice into that, because I'm sure that Snake Man would receive some accolades, some reputation bumps, etc. if his prodigy is not the right word. Oh my
tutor?
god, his
No,
student, his
yes.
student, his, that guy.
Yes, I'm like
became king.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure, again, I think they gave us 2 and 2 and expected us to find 4 here.
Well, plus 1. I also like this guy who suddenly appeared up too. There's also the guy who threw the spear to stop the fight, who looked like he was posed on the tower weird. I'm like, how the heck is he up there? And he was not happy with that fight going the way it was. And that was also like,
we did get
sir.
His introduction, because we got like best swordsman, I don't know what best snake guy is, but he's like the best spear guy. We had like, the 5-man band, such as it were.
But we hadn't heard him chit chat the way we had heard the other 2. Yeah,
I don't know if I wonder if our spear person is more of the doesn't talk unless he really has something to say type.
Yes,
as opposed to Boji, who is mute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not sure, but that whole fight just pissed me off, because it's like, this isn't the swordsmanship of a king, and I'm like, no, it's the swordsmanship of a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And this seems to be like ranking of kings and kingship and everything being predicated on pure brute force. Protege, that's it. Thank you. That is the word.
Yeah.
It's like 3 syllables, starts with a P. No, progeny means kid. Protege, thank you. But yeah, because this world seems to place its metric solely on brute strength, we are severely underestimating a prince who can read lips, for one, has not let on that he can do so, is very much playing people around him because he knows what their expectations of him are. And yeah, he may not be able to beat the hell out of something with a stick, but he was very much able to hold his own. And had his stick been a real blade, not necessarily any of those blows would have been killing, but like, he got him in the ribs a couple times, he got him in the arm, he got him in the head more than once, like death of 1,000 cuts. So they're very much looking at this and going, it's dishonorable. I'm like, it's dishonorable by your extremely narrow metric. And that's what I was so mad about. It's like, you're winning wrong. Try losing.
Yeah, I thought that was so dumb. I'm like, wait a minute. It doesn't matter how he fights. He's not, throwing dirt in the guy's face. He's not kicking him down and like, I don't know, like the way he fought. I don't know if that was just a bad translation or just they're bad characters in terms of like, that's not fair, or that wasn't an honorable way to fight. I'm like, why not? It was totally fine. Like, it doesn't matter if
it's the swordsmanship of assassins. They very much expect the king to be an extremely physically strong sort of presence, especially in this kingdom where King Boss became the king and established a kingdom by showing up and being a raid boss for a group of ogres and one-shotting them. So,
Tengi in the chat, and I agree. Boji's still trying to get back up after he'd been beaten up so badly, broke my heart. It was so sad.
This child.
And then Boji is just so precious.
He is. He is a good bean.
The one that got me of like the precious moment was when we got Kage like, I want to stick by you no matter what, and Boji's like, really? Like, I was just like,
me horizontal on my couch, sobbing, scaring the cat. Yeah. Yep.
That moment was so good too, and he's like, all right, we're gonna be buddies.
It's like, okay, leave me here, I guess.
It's like, I feel this is the character development we already got with Kage as he gained more respect for OG, but how he kept calling Boji, how Kage kept calling Boji is like, oh, so you're just an idiot because you can't speak. And I'm like, I'm good with mute. Can we say mute? Like, come on. It's like, it's an archaic kind of way to explain it, but it was just one of those like, well, he seems to be getting growth, because then he's like, oh, okay, well, you're not an idiot. You just literally cannot talk. And it's like, okay, thank you.
But that's also kind of introducing the audience to everyone's perceptions of Boji as well. Kage is just the one who puts it into words.
Yes.
And then we get the
Haha.
interactions with the villagers and the, well, if you can't speak, why don't you just say so? Which sent me. And then I appreciated the, yeah, there's a sharp one. Like, all right. That was funny. I'll give you that.
The townsfolk were rude. I was just like,
Again, this is a kingdom that respects brute strength, and Boji is not what they expect.
Nope. And I'm waiting and so excited when he's going to show them otherwise, because I feel that's the way this is going to go.
That's like, you need a brain on the throne. And honestly, I want to know what happened in the kingdom that Kage is from, because we definitely got one of those like blonde Jafar plots. You know, evil advisor talks some shit, got a lot of people killed. And also, can we talk about how disturbing it was for them to be riding around with like the bodies of these people hanging off of their spears?
Oh yeah,
because
they're like,
it doesn't hit you as viscerally because they're not human shaped, and that's kind of how you can get away with imagery like this. But it's the equivalent of just hanging people's heads off your spear. It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. And I cannot wait to see. I think she was like a young duchess or something.
Yeah,
the kid who
girl.
hid Kage. Yeah,
and she cried for him.
She's got to be a player at some point. There's no way that we're not seeing her again. She and whoever that guy that she was with have to be, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, I was so happy when she's like cried to cover up his crying. I'm they're so precious.
She's quick.
The creepy Lord of Light people made me think of Wheel of Time, who also have people in all white that are really overzealous like these folks, which side note, I talked about Wheel of Time on another episode. Go check it out. It's a really cool show. But they're so weird and kind of creepy. And I'm like, I wonder if these villains are going to come back, because it's definitely like, nope, they're just killing this assassin clan. And then actually speaking of that, Kage's mom going like, well, we assassinate people, so if people kill us, it's totally cool. I was like, no, wait, what? Don't tell your child.
I get the philosophy though. Like, we kill people. So if people want retribution for that, we can't exactly say no, because we were acting under orders, but we did still do the thing. So like, I get that philosophy, and I get preparing your child for that life. But also, I think she was thinking more in terms of like someone getting revenge, as opposed to the large-scale massacre that occurred.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucked up. It's fucked
up. But overall, I'm definitely liking it a lot, and I think I'm glad it's living up to the noise in a good way of people talking about it, because I know I had seen a lot of different people posting about it and saying it's really good, and that sometimes that you're just like, but is it? You know, and then some shows are, and you're just like, yes, that is really good. And other ones you're like, you know, you're like, it's okay. But I'm like, oh, no, I like this. I'm excited to watch more. And it's just so adorable and precious. But there's still a lot of depth to it, too. It's not just surface level cute.
It's one of those, you hear a song and it sounds really happy. And then you look up the lyrics and you're like, holy shit. It's like listening to Pumped Up Kicks for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of, oh, hey, this is a bop. And then you find out what it's about and you're like, oh, Jesus. I feel like that's what this is. They get you with like the Miyazaki art style, and they get you with like this, like, it's so cute. It looks so great. Look at these character designs. Look at this classic anime vibe. And then it's like, so in the first 2 episodes, our main character gets the hell beaten out of him because surviving that way isn't honorable. And also, our other main character's entire clan gets massacred. You get to see that too. Their bodies are paraded around on spears. Like, ha! It's a great show, and also, holy fuck. So,
yes. I feel that summarizes it well.
It's good. Yeah. It's a great show, and also, holy fuck. What a tagline. Yes. What a tagline.
And
put that on TikTok.
Yes. I have my co-host with me, so I'll show you all this. This is
okay.
This is Fizzgig.
A baby.
There you go.
Hey.
Oh, go that way. There you go. Yes. Just your
Hey,
face.
Pepper.
Oh.
Oh,
She's
it's
like,
so cute.
She's like, I'm in your lap and now I'm done. I need to go sit down. Okay. Go
I
sit down somewhere
required
else.
my attention, and now
And she's
I'm
like, I'm
going
done.
to leave.
She kind of is like a cat a little bit like that. She'll be like, I'm kind of done. I want to hang out with you now, but I met my quota. It's fine.
Oh, my cat's around here somewhere, but she's just like, no. I was also thinking of Semi-Charmed Life, but I honestly don't think, like, Semi-Charmed Life, you find out what it's about, and it's like, oh, I hesitate to be like, it's not that disturbing, but like on a scale of 1 to 10, we had crystal meth and did weird sex stuff is somehow to me not as disturbing as peppy song about a school shooting.
Yes.
So like, yes, I see your parallel. I went for pumped up kicks because I found it to be the more extreme example. And for everyone going, wait, what is pumped up kicks about? Yeah. Yeah, it's about a school shooting. It's pretty fucked up. That is how Foster the People came on the scene.
Well, big pivot back to it's a dog. She's a dog. I was saying her behavior is like a cat. She's fluffy like a fluffy cat.
Cute. That is not a cat face shape. She's very cute.
I mean, it's kind of flat, but it's okay. Anyway.
Sorry, chat. We're just going to argue with you for a few minutes here. We love you. Thank you for coming.
I was like, if she walked away, I'd be like, oh, no, she's left. She's like, no. Anyway.
This is why you should follow Carrie on social media so you can see more pictures of her dog.
Yes, and video, because she's so funny. And then, yes, I did move. I have a new spot, new setup. It's still a work in progress. I don't hate it. But yeah, we'll see. Thank you. You're gonna see some of my
moving every week. You'd never know.
Yeah, some of my art, some pictures and stuff. But yes. Yeah. All right. So I feel that covers our thoughts. Thank you. I feel that's our covering for Ranking of Kings, episodes 1 and 2 for now, and then stay tuned as we do more. So now we'll get into wrapping up. Any one stuff you should check out. I didn't necessarily think I had anything. We kind of skipped the things at the beginning we're excited about, but one Jujutsu Kaisen movie's coming out soon.
News. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, right. The tickets went on sale last Friday.
Yes, so they're on sale. Yeah. Go check that out. All reviews are on hold till March 5th, so you just gotta wait for a little bit for that one. And then that's it on my end. So go ahead, Katie, of your news.
We got Pokemon news and Digimon news on Sunday, and I about transcended reality. The Digimon news is that we are getting a new dub of Adventure 01, which for those of you who are like, what? Very first season. So the dub that we currently have is a lot of fun, is very well acted, is also absolutely a Fox Kids dub for, it's good old Saban in the 90s, and it's very nostalgic and also kind of skates over some of the darker aspects of that show. So we're getting a new dub. And Zeno Robinson is voicing Ty. And I'm just sitting here. I see this announcement. I see him tweeting about it. And I'm sitting here comparing Zeno Robinson to OG dub. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's perfect. That is perfect. So I am extremely excited for our new dub. I can't wait to hear who the rest of the cast is, because it's a huge cast. So I cannot wait to hear who else is in it. And for Pokemon news, for one, if you're soft locked because of the Cresselia glitch in Arceus, they fixed that. They rolled out a number of bug fixes for Arceus, so that should be good. And also, new games! New games! We have, I can't even remember what they're called. It's essentially red and purple, but it's like vermilion, and I don't even remember. I'm too excited because it's like, yeah. We have a new gen. It's based in Spain. They showed us the starters. We have a grass cat. His name is.
It was so cute.
His name is.
I saw that picture. It is so cute. Yeah.
His name is Sprigatito. It has a pun because gatito is Spanish for kitten, and it takes place in a Spain-inspired realm. Our little fire crocodile starter is based off of a pepper. And we have a duck with a pompadour. I love it. I'm so happy. Brand new generation. Guys, I'm so excited. It's been a while since I've been this excited about Pokemon. Like, my nostalgia showed up on Sunday morning to punch me in the face, and I'm here for it. I'm just so excited for both of these. So, in the comments, I want to know which starter you're picking of the three. Because for me, I don't always pick grass starters. I definitely went for Chikorita back in the day. I'm going for Sprigatito. And for the love of God, can we please have this cat remain a cat and not turn into a furry? I'm very tired of our cat evolutions turning into humanoid cats. Can we just stay a cat, please? Please,
could it be a big
Freak,
cat,
I'm begging you.
Lion size, like just get bigger?
Yeah, like a lion or a tiger or something. I loved Litten, and then we had that evolution. It's like, okay, I kind of love that we went pro wrestler, but also fire/fighting types as our starters need to stop. It's a joke now. So like, can we please just keep the cat a cat? Can we do that?
Giga Derek says going with the duck.
That's fair. It's always good to have Donald on your team. Basically looks like Donald Duck. It's great.
And rewind to what we were just talking about, but yes, John Knight, Jujutsu Kaisen, the film, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 will be available English, dub, or sub. So your choice, nice. Check your theater listings for that.
Very nice.
Yes.
All sorts of good news this week.
Great.
Yeah.
It's like nostalgia and new stuff, which I'm all for that. All right. Stuff you should check out as we wrap towards the end of our time. Nerdy wise, I finally got around to seeing Free Guy. That's over on Disney Plus. Oh my gosh, it really is that good. I had heard things about it and I was really worried because I have had it all too often where people are like, it's so good, it's so good. And then it's like, it's good, but I don't have that same like, but this one I was like, oh, there's so many cameos and so many jokes.
The previews did not do it justice. There's an entire other There's an entire other aspect to the movie that didn't show up in the previews, and honestly, that made it so much better.
Yeah, it's super funny. So if you want a good laugh, if you're into video games, or even if you're not, it's totally cool. It's just very funny, a lot of inside jokes, and also just kind of a good introspective thought on like your life, and do you want to keep doing that same path or change things up? So I thought that was super fun. Highly recommend Free Guy. Just so funny.
Free Guy is amazing. Seconded.
Also super pivot of type, but also very funny. I finally got around to watching Fleabag, also not nerdy. This is very adult humor, so warning you on that one. It's life, sex, death, relationships, all those things. It's a British show. It's on Amazon Prime. So funny, though. It's very funny. And it has a breaking the fourth wall, which I personally really enjoy. I know there's a lot of people that are like, but and it's been out for a while, but it's one of those that been on my radar, but I hadn't gotten to yet. So I really like it, and I do recommend that one. So far, so good. And the first 4 episodes of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 4 are out. Oh, that's such a good show too. And I'm so glad that one's back. And now I get to wait because now I've caught up to what's available. But
it's like, but give me more now.
But at least I have other stuff to watch in the meanwhile. So Katie, what about you? What are some things you've been watching, reading, and what should people check out? You got another one.
It's look, they let you check out like 15
a lot,
books at a time at the library. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually tore through part of another series and gave it far more than I should have before realizing I honestly don't like it. So I'm going to name that because I know a lot of people do, and I'm not here to start fights. Instead, I'm going to tell you about this amazing book. It is called The Final Girl Support Group. It is by Grady Hendrix, who has done a number of other horror-based books. He did My Best Friend's Exorcism. He did The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This is the first book of his that I've read because I'm not super into horror, and people watching the show are like, you sure about that? Like, yes, I'm sure. This book is incredible. if you like slashers, if that is your genre of horror, if you are here for the Texas Chainsaw, the Nightmare on Elm Street, the Scream, this is a great book for you because it focuses on what happens to the people who survive that, what happens to our final girls. And it's called the Final Girl Support Group because they have one. And it's looking at these women now that they're adults, like how are they coping with things? How have they adjusted? How have they not? We have a narrator where it takes you a good long while to realize that she's not reliable, which is another level of fun. But it's, they have the support group and then someone starts trying to pick them off. So it's one of those, it's happening all over again. So like some slashers, like, Scream, essentially, it's a whodunit. It's a mystery. It's trying to figure out what's happening, what's going on. I had 3 guesses. They were all wrong, which is honestly great. I was not expecting the twists that we got.
Yeah.
And each of the final girls in the novel, their experiences were essentially an XP of an existing horror franchise IRL.
Okay.
So there is a woman who survived the equivalent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they were calling it Panhandle Meat Hook.
Okay, I was just going to ask, like, do all these worlds exist at the same time? But it makes sense if they're all kind of like,
but they all
alluding
have
to it.
Yeah, they all have movie franchises, but it's like, here is the actual real life thing that occurred, and then Predatory Studios made movies based on their occurrences. So there's someone who survived. They call it Camp Red Lake in the book, and that was kind of their, was Patricia Voorhees, Mama Voorhees. I can't remember her first name, but yeah, like her surviving that, and then the equivalent of that. It took me longer than it should have to realize which franchise our protagonist was from. There were some larger clues. There was an allusion to a very notable thing. And I'm being vague because for me, this was a great twist. There is an allusion to a very notable thing if you are into the slasher genre. And I remember reading it and going, I should know this. I should know what that's from. I've seen it on a kill count. And it wasn't until we finally got to the point where she's reliving it and we have the flashback where I went, oh my God, she's from this franchise. And I damn near lost my mind. It was great.
Nice.
There were clues to it beforehand and I did not put them together. And then when I had the realization, it was amazing. Like, Grady Hendrix knows his shit. Grady Hendrix knows his slashers. He knows what tropes to play up. He knows what tropes to subvert. And what I love that they did with this, and it's similar to something that Scream 5 addressed, is that they took a good hard look at fandom and went, fucking check yourself. Because there's a difference between true crime fans who are generally into, like, interested in the idea, interested in, I hesitate to call true crime a genre, but
it kind of is now.
In the same way that documentary is a genre.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a true crime fan, but I'm only into my favorite murder. That sort of thing. There's a difference between that and then people who are fans of like the actual serial killers, the people who want to own the memorabilia from the killers and who want to like get in their shoes and want to. This book is very, very good at addressing the, hey guys, this is kind of fucked up. Like, it has a very dim view of serial killer fandom. And I think it's well executed and honestly well deserved. Like, guys, if you're in love with a serial killer, you may want to talk to someone about that. Right? It's kind of not okay. So I love the execution. It's a very intelligent look at the genre, the tropes, all of this. It's very fast paced. It's very exciting. I love it. I love it so much. If you've read it, please come talk to me about it. We will keep things spoiler free because it's still a relatively new book. I think it came out last year. Yeah. But like, I love this book so much. It's so good. I sat down to read it at like 6 p.m. on Sunday and then I finished it. Just whole way through.
You're a speedy
So
reader, but
good.
we talked about that.
I am
so.
a very fast reader, and also I was very interested. Like, I ordered dinner and then didn't eat it until half an hour after it came because I was reading.
You're like, I'm focused.
I was like,
Yeah.
well, my dinner's going to get cold. And then I'm like, one more chapter. And that turned into like 4 more chapters. And then I went, oh, my dinner is cold now. But this is great.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I'll have to that one, I'm like, ooh, that does sound intriguing.
I think you'd like it.
I was like, ooh, yeah, that sounds like it'd be a fun one. I just, the question is, do I start it while I'm reading another book or two, or do I wait till I finish?
Well, how quickly do you get through books, and how interesting
I'm pretty
are your other
slow,
books?
so I could probably pick it up and see how it goes. That's the other thing too. Go to your library, you get free books, free movies. Oh my gosh, it's a resource at your fingertips, everyone, or even digitally.
Comics.
Yes.
If you want to look at all the New York Times articles that are behind paywalls, oftentimes your library will have a subscription that's built into your library card that you can use. Like,
and and it still supports the writers, the artists, and everybody. So just because you're not buying their book, it's okay. Go to your library. It's free.
Checking out an author's book from the library does still support the author, and the library tracks, like, does it get checked out often? Is this author popular? Do we need to purchase more copies? Like, my little teeny local library branch, I originally had a hold for it and I missed the date because they'd had to pull it from somewhere else. I got this because they had just bought a copy for themselves because it was doing well. This book's been out since last year, but the library still kind of looks like, who's placing holds? Do we need more copies? Do we need better circulation? And then they continue to buy books. Like, it does help the authors, and also it helps the libraries. So also, when it comes time to vote and there's stuff about the libraries, always fund the libraries. It's one of the few public spaces that does not expect you to spend money in order to spend time there.
Yes. And also most of them, I mean, double check, but a lot of them during this time are not holding the same kind of late fees of returning your stuff. And it's very easy to renew, or it auto renews for you. So yes.
Yeah. And there are some libraries that have gotten rid of late fees at all, because late fees are not how libraries make their money.
No. Yeah.
It's like a single percentage of their budget is late fees or something like that. So yeah, support your local library. Check out books.
Yes.
Check out this book.
I was going to say.
Also check out the tarot sequence. The next one's coming out in May.
Not a book, and getting towards the end of signing off, but want to give a shout out. ElfQuest has their 44th birthday today. So that's a really great graphic novel series. If you could check that one out. That's books. It's a graphic novel. It counts. Yeah, so yes, I was just showing there's classic shirt. There we go. As I lean awkwardly. Excuse me. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, joining us live, or if you're watching it later, totally no problem. Comment your thoughts down below on the stuff we talked about. Give the video a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button. Katie, there we go. Where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. It's right here. It is Kiaxet. Again, I'm just kind of working on getting back into the groove of things. The Twitter is the most active, including some ice cold takes on Banished from the Heroes Party, which I just finished last night.
Yes, I saw some of those, and I was like, okay.
You gotta love a show where the morals are getting properly medicated is important and defy God.
You know, as
it's a good time.
Right. Yeah.
The god of that world is terrible.
Fair.
Real bad.
I did not get that far in that show, so I only watched a first few, I think. But
I have some thoughts, but those are for later.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Also, a huge thank you again to Imari Williams for joining us earlier. Go check out his page. Follow him for more cool content. And you can find me everywhere online. There we go. At Carrie D Lane, that's KARIDLANE. Thank you again so much for watching. I was like, ooh, we got little, and everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining us.
We love you, chat.
Yes. And we'll see you next week. All right. Have a good one. Bye.